Hi, everyone. We're live at the Paste Studio in New York right now with Station, Emmy, Pat, Chris. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year, man.
The very second session of the brand new decade. So thank you guys very much for coming in and doing it.
Thank you for having us. Seriously appreciate it.
Yeah. So Stained Glass came out recently. It just came out on November 1st, and we're about to hear 3 songs from it today. Can you tell us what's coming up first?
Sure. Yeah. The first song we're going to play is a song called Emily. It's a song that we actually wrote a really long time ago, and it was actually had a different name. It was a different girl, and then as one can imagine, it was a very long time ago, so we ended up deciding to change the name.
A different 3-syllable girl?
A different 3-syllable girl, exactly. Okay. So this is a song called Emily. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. Man, it sounds great, dude. This arrangement is a ton of fun. I know this is very, very different from the stage shows that people saw. I know you had a lot of shows in November of the previous year, and this is quite different from that, but it sounds absolutely outstanding
Cool, thanks,
in this
man.
arrangement. Yeah, do you think?
Yeah, we love doing acoustic shows. It's something that obviously when we were starting out and trying to get whatever gigs we could, there were a lot of times where we would end up with open mic nights, you know, and you're not going to get your full band experience. And so, you know, Chris and I and Emmy, we sat down and we came up with some acoustic arrangements that we had to do because we were like, well, we want to play these songs. They're awesome songs. They sound better rocking, you know, but we also need to make sure that they can translate in an acoustic type setting. So luckily, most of our songs, aside from maybe like some of the crazier ones, are very, very easy to do and strip it down and still have the message of the song come across and still get the vibe that we're trying to put out without it being like, oh, this is so incredibly different, you know, than our rockin' live plugged in show.
No, yeah, I mean that seems like it's vocal harmony heavy enough that it draws that more to the forefront of the song, I think, which is outstanding. I mean, you guys sound great together, so which
you.
is I didn't even mean to go off on this tangent. The tangent that I meant to go on was about the songwriting on this album. So Stained Glass was written over the course of a number of years. This was not one like 3-month songwriting period. This happened over the course of nearly a decade, as is evidenced by Emily, which is one of those that was written a while ago, it sounds like. Can you talk about the decision to do that, or why it turned out that way? Why take years and years of songs and put them into the one collection? And I mean, I'm enjoying the outcome of it, but why did it turn out like that?
So one of the things that kind of has been the theme of Station is that we're constantly writing. We have so many songs like that. When we were starting out, we had a ton of songs. Chris is a primary songwriter in the band, and his collection prior to even him meeting me was astronomical, you know. And when we were writing together, you know, he brought a lot more songs, and all of a sudden we just amassed this massive collection of songs that were all really, really good. So when the time came for us to put out our first album, our self-titled, back in 2015, we put 15 songs on that record, and it was still, there's so many that got cut, you know, that we could have put on that record easily. And with More Than the Moon, there were a couple that were sort of in that vein, but we also kind of took a different approach to that. It was much more of a holistic, like, this is the album type of vibe. So a lot of the songs are more similar, and you can kind of tell that they were written more around the same time than, say, the first record. And with Stained Glass, we kind of stopped and we said, well, hold on a minute. There's so much stuff that we wrote that was super high quality that never got to see the light of day because for one reason or another it was pushed. It didn't make the cut for the first album, or it didn't fit the vibe of the second album, but it's still a good song. It still should be recorded and it still should see the light of day. So with Stained Glass, what we did was we took a lot of the older songs that we fell in love with, that we absolutely loved to play, but never actually got to put down on record, in addition to some new stuff. So what it does is it runs the gamut of what Station is about, you know, what our old sound was like, what our new sound is like, and how you kind of see the evolution, but it all still sort of fits together. Like, we've been very genuine in our songwriting this entire time and how we wanted to present ourselves. It's not like, oh, we used to be like deathcore and now we're like, you know, pop music. You know, we've always kind of been rock and roll, but you can still see the evolution of Station. And I think Stained Glass is like the snapshot, if you don't want to spend money on all of our records, you know, to get the idea in one concise piece of art.
Well, I'm enjoying it. Well done on the album title. That's a great thing to call an album that is made up of disparate pieces, but that are put together into one whole. I like it. And thanks for bringing the music here today. There's still a lot more happening. There's the second and a third song. Can you tell us what's coming up second?
Yep. So the second song that we're going to play is a song called Never Enough. This is a song actually we released as a single back in 2017, standalone single. And in sort of the same situation where we were like, well, we recorded it, we wanted to put it out there, we tried something different, we never did any singles, and then we started getting people to really, they were upset with us. They were like, oh, why isn't this song on an album? It's so good, you know. So we ended up, when we were putting everything together, in mixing with the theme of the album, saying, okay, well, it's a bit older, people have been wanting it to be on an album, like an actual album, so let's put it on an album. So this is Never Enough. Every time I saw you, I would know we'd walk away together. And the last time that I told you so, I said it's been forever. I feel I'm going crazy without your love. I'm waiting on a maybe for your love, love. It's never enough to walk you home in the rain. Oh, in the rain. It's never enough to think I'm feeling the same, yeah. If you keep your eyes shut all the time, your heart cannot be broken. So you show your soul by way of wine, when your mind can't hear what's spoken. I feel I'm going crazy without your love. I'm waiting on a maybe for your love, love. It's never enough to walk you home in the rain. Oh, in the rain. It's never enough to think I'm feeling the same, yeah. Though I try to tell you, what can I do? You didn't want to listen, 'cause my words might ring true. The mirror wouldn't show you the way I saw you. It's never enough. No, it's never enough. Yeah, it's never enough. No, it's never enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's never enough to walk you home in the rain. Oh, in the rain. It's never enough to think I'm feeling the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Never enough. Never enough. Never enough. Never enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Nice. Thank you.
Break a string?
Brand new oh
It's
man.
just too metal.
Did you want one of these guys? You're welcome to use one of those guys if you want.
Oh, man. Yeah, but
Are we
we're
in E
half
flat?
step back,
Hmm.
half step down. Can I take a second to think that? down? Or?
Yeah, totally. Either whichever one's faster. Whether you want to, you can detune this guy down if you want. Either way is good.
We got Paganini on guitar over here. We're
I can
good.
do it. I can do it. Don't worry about it.
We got a chance to look at some of the tapes in the other room, in this room, and I mean this is a library or a museum of rock and roll history, of jazz history, of a lot of country music history going all the way back to the 50s here, and I mean I can definitely hear the Van Halen. The bands with just huge like over the top vocals, and I love it. I mean, I had just watched The Dirt when Jordan reached out about this, and I know you guys have shared the stage with Vince Neil before. I think I read that.
Yeah, a few times actually.
And so, can you talk about some of the artists that have been really influential with you? Whether it's the artists who I hear the influence of, or something totally from left field that I may not expect.
You know, it's kind of funny. It sort of depends on who you ask in the band. I feel like that's a big part of what also makes Station unique. Is if you ask any one of us who our influences are, we're all going to tell you different answers. Like we all have, in the Venn diagram of each member of Station, we all have core bands that we fell in love with, and they're hugely influential to our sound. But if you look at each of us individually, it's so interesting because of all the guys in the band, I'm definitely the metalhead. I listen to the heaviest music. I grew up with my personal influences being bands like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Queensryche and a lot of really great vocalists. I was always really a big fan of vocalists, but I also have a huge classical influence as well. Like I'm a huge fan of Pavarotti, for example. So those are the types of things that always influenced me, was great singers and great rock music to complement great singers. And so that was my initial influence, was like listening to Bruce Dickinson and Iron Maiden and Rob Halford and Judas Priest and just being like, man, I would love to be able to do that, and then kind of infusing everything that I could and doing a lot of training, and that's how I was able to get my sound, and that was sort of my influence. Whereas you take Chris, for example, Chris is like all about the Beatles. Like he's much more of a songwriter type of artist than anything else, I would say, because I mean you can hear it, a lot of, like I said, a lot of Station's material sort of stems from Chris, as the songwriter, but his influences are in that world very much so, where it's like, it's not about the production. It's like, can you strip down the song and have it still be a good song? So those are the types of things. And then, then Tony, our drummer, who's not here today, unfortunately, he's all about like Rush, and he's like one of those dudes. So
He's a drummer.
He's a drummer.
Yeah, I was gonna say a drummer loving Rush is just par for the course. I'm glad that he likes that. It'd be weird if he didn't.
That's true. And Emmy actually is funny. When Emmy started playing guitar, he was all about the blues for a really long time. It's so funny too, because Chris plays so light. He's just like, oh, whatever. And you can watch Emmy play, and he's like ripping the guitar apart. So it's funny because I remember I asked him once. I was like, so did you want to play like death metal or something when you were a kid? And he's like, no, I wanted to be Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I wanted to be Brian May. So
Brian May, yeah.
No, Stevie Ray Vaughan too. But one of my biggest influence was Brian May, and he picked so hard. I thought so. That's the way I grow up, like picking. And then I found out that he plays with a coin. He plays with an
Really?
English penny. I'm like, oh, so he doesn't pick that hard, but well, I do.
Too
Clearly.
late. Yeah.
See, I'm the polar opposite. I'm the
But I'm
lightest
actually the
player
bassist
ever.
of the band. I'm playing guitar now because for the.
Oh yeah, for all the people that don't know, he's just the bass player.
Well, dude, I'm glad you guys are here in this room playing. I don't think that Emmy, were you in the room when I was showing everyone the Queen tape over there? There's a Queen tape over there, and you're sitting in front of a Stevie Ray Vaughan tape right now. Like right on top of that tape player with the VU meters lit up is a Stevie Ray Vaughan tape, and then in the other room is he's got it. Yeah. So and I mean, there's you're also sitting in front of a Sabbath tape and Iron Maiden. I've got Heavy Metal Picnic in the other room, which is not part of this collection at all. I just have the Judas Priest.
That's so cool.
Heavy metal collections, which we probably should just watch for the rest of the afternoon. I don't know if you
true,
guys
yeah.
have stuff to do later, but we can just nerd out and watch these things.
I got nothing important to do.
Nice.
I'm just making
Nice. Well, dude, thank you guys for coming. And there's more music left. We're gonna hear a third off of Stained Glass. Can you tell us what is coming up last today?
Yeah, this is a song called All You Need Is a Heartbeat. It's actually interesting. The same sort of idea where it was released as a single, and it ended up being a staple at our shows, it became this massive song that we always love to incorporate into our set. And it's so funny because the song itself draws inspiration from when we filmed our first ever music video back in like 2012 or 2013 or something like that. And it's a very fun song. It's also, I guess, fits the theme of old and new because it's from a experience that we all had a really long time ago and made its way into a song and now made its way into our latest release. So this is All You Need Is a Heartbeat. 1, 2, 3. She was a Mona Lisa in a redhead, the kind of girl that make you feel that live you leave, there will be no tomorrow. The patient smile of a time bomb, the world wrapped up inside of her palm. The rush was there, but the time I had to borrow. Met her at the right time, but the wrong night. Last chance for a new life, and I can see her face. She's calling me. All you need is a heartbeat. All you need is to see her dance. She's looking good in the backseat. It's looking good when you take the chance. You fall in love with her. In love with her, just like me. Dancing high up in the window. The music's wrong, but you would never know. Without the light, it meant the day was over. Met her at the right time, but the wrong night. The last chance for a new life, and I can see her face. She's calling me. All you need is a heartbeat. All you need is to see her dance. She's looking good in the backseat. It's looking good when you take the chance. Fall in love with her. In love with her, just like me. I think I might be too young to fall in love again. Well, you never know. Now everything is new and old to me. All you need is a heartbeat. All you need is to see her dance. She's looking good in the backseat. It's looking good when you take the chance. All you need is a heartbeat. All you need is to see her dance. She's looking good in the backseat. It's looking good when you take the chance. You fall
Man, thank you guys for coming through. Happy New Year to everybody.
New Year.
Yeah, man. And so there are things coming up in the future of this band, some in the very, very near future, like today potentially. And there's shows being announced pretty soon, I think. And even though you guys are banned from playing at the Port Authority Bus Terminal,
our upcoming tour will not be at the Port Authority.
but there are still so many other venues besides that bus terminal that you can play at. So
not many. That was like our place, man. It was like our home. Yeah, we're gonna be announcing shows in the next couple of weeks. We got some stuff that we're gonna be planning out for the summer. And special announcement is that we are going to be pressing vinyl for the very first time. We're really, really excited. We toyed around with the idea for the last couple of records, and it never came to fruition. And then with Stained Glass, with the reception has been so positive, and a lot of people have actually been coming up and asking us if we were going to do it. And so we sat down and we thought about it, and yeah, we're gonna press vinyl for Stained Glass. So you'll get more information on that on our socials, Station NYC on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So stay tuned for that and find out when you can pre-order. Once we know when you can pre-order.
Sweet. Well, guys, thanks again for doing this. Happy New Year again. Thanks for bringing the music here, and best of luck on the vinyl and the dates when they're announced and everything. And come visit us again, man. We'll just be here doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
All right.